Good afternoon. TechNation editor John Wallace here. I'm excited to be with you today as we learn more about the tool of the trade featured in the June issue of TechNation magazine, the CITREX H5 gas flow analyzer and MultiGasAnalyser OR-703. Thank you to today's sponsor, IMT Analytics Incorporated. IMT Analytics is a world leader in the manufacture, distribution, and service of gas flow analyzers. These high-precision medical Class 1 gas flow and pressure measurement instruments are capable of testing a wide range of medical devices such as ventilators and anesthesia machines, oxygen flow meters, pressure gauges, and suction devices. Since 1999, the brand has been well known globally for dependable, high-quality products and services. For more information, visit www.imtanalytics.com. Now, today's Tools of the Trade live demo of the CITREX H5 gas flow analyzer and MultiGasAnalyser OR-703 features a great combination to meet your ventilator and anesthesia machine testing requirements. The combination offers a host of features ideal for biomedical engineers, independent service providers, and equipment manufacturers. Please note that the presenters have provided PDF handouts for attendees. The handouts are accessible via the webinar dashboard. Before we begin, I want to remind attendees that today's presentation is eligible for 1 CE credit from the ACI. 1 hour after the conclusion of today's broadcast, you will receive an email survey. Completing that survey will grant access to a certificate that you can download and print from your computer. We will wrap up today's broadcast with a Q&A. Please note that the webinar dashboard includes a question feature. You can submit your questions for our presenters at any time during the demo. Right now, we're going to go ahead and use that question feature because I'm excited to tell you that we're celebrating our 10th anniversary of Webinar Wednesday. As part of that celebration, during the demo, we will give away a pair of Apple AirPods to one lucky attendee. The attendee who can answer we will pick an attendee who answers the trivia question. June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, so what color is officially associated with Alzheimer's Association? Answer now using the question feature on your dashboard, and I'll reveal the answer at the end of the webinar, along with the winner. Also, TechNation magazine is excited to announce that we are accepting nominations for the second annual Tech Choice Awards. Find out how to make a nomination at onetechnation.com. Now, today's presenters are IMT Managing Director Daniel Benz and Business Development Director Kerwin Sanger. Gentlemen, you may begin whenever you are ready.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John, for the introduction. Thanks to TechNation for hosting this webinar. And most importantly, thank you all very much for joining us. Today, we're going to tell you all about our high-end mobile use gas flow analyzer, the CITREX H5. With the CITREX H5, you can test all types of ventilators from adult to pediatric and high frequency, as well as a variety of other medical devices producing gas flow and pressure. Its high measuring accuracy, its ease of use, and its very compact all-in-one design makes it the perfect companion for biomedical engineers. Paired with our OR-703 multi-gas analyzer, it even transforms to a full-blown anesthesia machine tester. Before we start with our demo, we would love to hear from you. Please take a moment to participate in our first poll and let us know what ventilator tester you use. I'll give you a moment.
The poll question is, what ventilator test equipment do you currently use? And the options are IMT Analytics product, Fluke product, TSI product, other product, or none. Let's see, we have some results coming in right now. And it looks like 47% use Fluke, 31% use TSI, and 17% use IMT Analytics.
All right, thank you all for your participation. Thanks, John, for sharing these results. Well, it's good to see that we have some existing users in here. So thank you very much for being a customer already. And it's also exciting to see that we have a lot of potential new users here in the webinar. So that's very good. So I hope we can convince you to consider the CITREX H5 or maybe another of our devices in our lineup as maybe your next gas flow analyzers for your ventilator testing needs. So without any further ado, let's jump into the demonstration. So the first thing we wanted to share with you is what comes with the CITREX H5, because we sell it always as a full-blown ventilation test kit. And switching the camera to show you how it looks like. So this is a nice bag where it comes with. It perfectly protects the device for transportation, and it also accommodates all the included accessories you get with the device. It has two compartments, an upper one and a lower one. And let us quickly see what is in here. So if I open the upper one, inside the top cover, we have a quick start guide and the calibration certificates. Then in here, in the top compartment, we have a smart lung adult, where you can simulate different patient compliances and parabolic resistances with this by turning this connector, and also you can simulate leaks. Then we have a blue high pressure measurement tube included, a Ethernet cable, a USB cable, a USB adapter. We'll see later how we use that one, and a shoulder strap for the bag. In the lower compartment, of course, there you will find the device itself here in the middle. But we have some additional accessories here. We have an adapter set with all kind of adapters you might need to connect the CITREX in your specific application. Then we have a so-called laminar flow tube. It's used for high precision flow measurements to laminate the flow in front of the device. Then we have a USB power charger in here with all kind of different regional adapters, a dust filter to protect the flow channel from contamination, and up here we have a USB car charger, so you can even charge your device on the road, and a SD card adapter. So there's a micro SD card in the device, and with this adapter you can connect that one to your computer. Okay, so let's have a closer look at the device itself. I'll take that out here and zoom in just a little bit. So as you can see, the whole front of the device is covered by a giant touchscreen interface. And the device already comes with this protection frame here, the blue one mounted. So it perfectly protects the device and the screen. And the next thing you'll notice are these two connectors here on both sides of the device. This is our flow channel that goes all the way through the device. And in this flow channel, we can measure flow bidirectionally with a range from -300 to +300 liters per minute and an accuracy of 1.9%. We call the CITREX H5 an all-in-one device because all other relevant parameters are also measured right inside the flow channel. If you take a look at the side of the device, we have a replaceable oxygen sensor, and that one is measuring the oxygen concentration of the gas flowing through the flow channel right here inside the device. The same applies for the temperature of the gas and the pressure. It's all being measured right inside the flow channel, so there's no need for external components, no need to tee in anything. It's all right there where you would expect it. On the bottom side of the device, we have additionally 2 ports for differential pressure measurement with a range of ±200 millibar, as well as a high pressure and vacuum measurement port over here. It has a range from negative 14.5 psi to positive 145 psi. At the top of the device, we have a bunch of electrical connectors. Our oxygen sensor is connected here with a cable, but then we also have an Ethernet interface over here where we can connect the device to a computer to access the built-in web server. Then we have a CAN bus and RS-232 interface to remote control the device. We have a configurable analog digital interface here, and a USB port for charging and use of FlowLab software, which we'll see a little later in this presentation over here. And over here we have an additional USB interface, which is used for software update and data export. On the right side of the device, we have two buttons. On the left side, the power button. On the right side, we have a screen lock button. And in the middle here, you can see this is the removable micro SD card for data storage. To switch on the device, we simply press the power button, and now it starts powering on. And I'll now hand it over to Kerwin to tell you more about our user interface and the general operation of the device.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Let's zoom in here just a little bit closer so everybody can see this. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the H5 itself and this home screens and all the other navigation aids that you might want. As Daniel showed you, when you turn the device on, it comes up to this home screen that has 6 tiles. We'll get into each one as we go, but one of the things that you want to do with the H5 and any analyzer that you use is prepare it for testing whatever you happen to be testing. And with the H5, the first thing we want to do is turn it on, warm it up, which it is now. And the next thing we want to do is go to our calibration screen and select 0 offset. It says here in the diagram, it shows that you should disconnect any tubing that you might have on the device, so it's open to atmosphere. And then all you have to do is select start. It only takes a few seconds, and once it's complete, it tells you it's successful, and then it shows you that it's zeroed out all the pressure transducers. So now you're ready to start. There are a few other things that we want to look at. Here on the calibration screen, you do have the choice to do an oxygen sensor calibration or a OR-703 gas analyzer calibration, and we'll be doing those later, or you can do them on your own. But can you continue setting up our device for the device that we're testing? We want to make sure that we're also using the same gas type and gas standard as the device. So we go to our settings menu, select measurement, select gas standard, and you'll see that we have 17 different gas standards available. Now, most ventilators, they'll either be ATP, STP, or BTPS. In the case of the ventilator we're using here, Bella Vista, it's AP21. And this gas standard has to match. You want to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, that our device is set for the same gas standard that the manufacturer has set the ventilator to. So you may have to go to the ventilator documentation to find out, because it's not always apparent. But once you know, set the gas standard, move on to the gas type. Here you'll see that we can select air, Aero2 manual, Aero2 auto, and several others. In most cases, Air O2 auto works best. It uses the onboard O2 sensor to measure how much oxygen we're delivering. So as we make changes to our ventilator and deliver something besides just air, it will automatically detect that and compensate for it. If for some reason you don't have the O2 sensor, you can switch to air or air and O2 manual and put the data in that way. For now, we're going to leave it on Air O2 auto. Okay. Let's go back to one more thing that we want to make sure we have set correctly to prepare our device, and that's our trigger setting. So we go to triggers, respiratory mode. The H5 comes with 3 factory default trigger settings: adult, pediatric, and high frequency. So we can test pretty much any ventilator out there. You just want to make sure you're using the proper respiratory mode for the ventilator that you're testing. Today we'll be doing an adult ventilator, so we're going to leave that on adult. And by the way, each one of these is completely configurable, and you may have to use that, may not. In most cases, the defaults work fine. But if you do need to configure either one of them or any of them, you can do that. Okay, so now that we have our device all set up and ready to go, I'll show you how easy it is to connect to our ventilator. I'll zoom out just a little bit here. So we just take our Y, attach always with our filter, attach the flow tube to the input side of the H5. Connect the test lung to the output, and we're done. It's just that easy. As Daniel said, it's an all-in-one device. No teeing in pressures, no teeing oxygen. It's all taken through the main flow channel. Now, if I start ventilation, then we see that we get a nice waveform here on the first measurement screen, and we get numbers. Now, let me zoom back in a little bit for you so you can see that. Oh, too much. How's that? Okay. So the first thing I want to show you is a few navigational aids, because there are a lot of screens on here. We have 6 on the home screen, and if we enter any of those tiles, you should see 6 little squares up at the top where you can touch that and it will take you back to the home screen. So anytime that you want to go back to a different screen, or you can always return here to the home screen. Select menu, measure again. Just below that, you'll see that we have some dashed lines, and the first one is red. That tells us we're on the first screen of 4 screens that are available. So if I scroll to the next screen, you'll see this one's all numerics. The next screen is waveform comparison, and the fourth screen is a convenient screen that shows 2 of the parameters larger than the others. If we go back to another screen, that you might notice a scroll bar. If you see the scroll bar along the side, it tells you that there's additional data available that you can't currently see, but you can scroll down to, or at least there could be more data here. In this case, there isn't, but we can simply add more tiles if we like by hitting the plus key. What that does for us is bring up the tile all in one screen, and it puts it in edit mode. From here, we can select from our 28 different breath parameters anything that we want. We can set the unit of measure, and if we like, we can also change the color. And we accept those changes, and now we see we have another tile added to our list. If we scroll up, we see our original ones. And if I like that tile that I just added, I can move that around by just simply grabbing it and moving it anywhere in the list. So maybe it's in the right order that I'm testing. Select the change, and you've already got your tile there. Now our scroll bar shows us that there's additional parameters. This type of customization can be done on any of our screens, any of our tiles, including the waveform tile. So if I just tap that waveform tile, it takes over the whole screen. If I tap and hold it, it puts it in edit mode. Here again, I can choose which parameter I want to measure. I can see the units of measure. I can still see my gas standard and my gas type, and I could see the color, and I could change the color here too. I accept that. It goes back to full screen until I go back to measurements. So it's quite easy to make changes to all the different tiles. Okay. The navigation aids help you find out which tile you're on. And one last thing I wanted to show you is if we tap on a single waveform, we can do this on the main screen or on the comparison screen. We can actually pause that waveform, and we can move the cursor anywhere along the waveform. We can zoom in, we can zoom out, and the cursor tells us exactly what the value is anywhere it crosses the waveform. So you can do actual waveform analysis directly on the device. Let's go back to measurement. Now, let's say we have our device set up exactly like we want it. And we want to save those settings because we don't want to have to set it up that way every single time we use it. You can do that easily by just going back to the home screen and choose Profile. Here you can scroll down. You'll see that there are some profiles already here, but you can pick a new one or create a new one by simply saying Add Profile. There you can change the title of the profile. You can add a description if you like. And when you save it, now that profile is saved and can be used anytime that you want to start working on the same type of ventilator, or if you can personalize it for yourself. Those are also saved on the SD card. So I can share profiles. So if I create a profile for a Bella Vista ventilator, for example, I can then share that with other people that have H5s by taking the SD card out, putting it in their device, and letting them apply it to their H5. It will then be stored on their H5 as well, and I can get the SD card back for mine. Okay. So we've shown you how to navigate, we've shown you how to prepare the device, and we've shown you how to save your profiles. Let's see.
Can you save the data?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's what I was going to say. So one other thing that we can do now that we've saved all this the way we want, and we've taken measurements, you want to get the data from the device onto somewhere else where you can use it. Of course, you can read the values off the device and write them down, but you can also save them. The easiest way to do that is to go here on the measurement menu and simply hit Data Snapshot. What that does is it snapshots all the data on your device and sends it to that SD card again, this time in a CSV file. And you can remove the card, put it in your computer, and then transfer the data to an Excel spreadsheet. That is just a snapshot. If you also want to take data over a longer period of time, you can actually record directly on the H5 up to 24 hours. But to do that, you'll have to add a USB drive and use the USB cable that Daniel showed you earlier. We just connect that to our data port here, and then go to that same menu. And we see now down below Data Snapshot now that we can actually start a recording. There, if you touch recording or start recording, it shows you that you can set the interval and the duration, and you can record up to 24 hours onto your thumb drive. Again, it's a CSV file that you can use to import into Excel. So there's a couple of different ways to store data here. And I think I've already shown you pretty much everything you need to do to get started testing your ventilators. Okay, from here, I'm going to stop ventilation and hand you back over to Daniel.
All right, thanks, Kerwin. Okay, so next up, let's talk about one of the main USPs of the CITREX H5, the testing apps. We work with ventilator manufacturers to create a growing library of them. Testing apps guide you through the performance verification as per service manual of ventilators. They take measurements and interpret them for you automatically, and they let you create a report that you can then pull from the device as a PDF file to be attached to a work order. This helps to make testing workflows more efficient and to eliminate the risk of transcription and measuring errors. Let me show you how that works. On our CITREX H5, when we go to the main menu, just zoom out a little bit, there is a tile called Applications right here in the top middle of the screen. We enter this tile, we can see the existing library of testing apps. And as you can see, we already have some for the Wire medical ventilators. We have one for the Philips V60 and some others. And this library is going to grow over time. So we are working right now on new apps, and we will get the new apps to the devices through software updates. And software updates with the CITREX are for free. So later on, when we add new applications, you will be able to update your device yourself in the field and get access to new apps as we go. To show you how it works, I'm going to start the Bella Vista Quick Verification app. This is a very short procedure, allows us to go through the whole procedure here in this webinar session. The moment when I start a testing app, in the background, it already loads all the correct setting for the corresponding ventilator, because it knows what ventilator we are now testing. So here with the Bella Vista, it loaded the correct gas standard, the correct gas type, the suitable trigger settings, and everything for you. So you can't do anything wrong here. And then it starts guiding you through the testing procedure. So here in this case, it first shows me a picture of the setup that I have to do for the measurements. So you can see I have to connect my Bella Vista ventilator to the H5 and to a test lung. And I'm just going to switch camera a little quick and show you here my desk, that this is actually what I prepared. So here you have the Bella Vista ventilator and a circuit system that goes to the H5 where my app is running. And then down here we have a test lung connected. Right, back to the top-down camera. So I'm done with my setup. So I just go to the next step here in my app. And the next step here is it shows me what settings I have to do on my ventilator. So it even has here in this case a nice screenshot of my ventilator that I can see my settings. I can enlarge that by just tapping on it. I just quickly double check. I prepared all that already, so it's correct. And then it asks me to start a ventilation. So I'll do that on my ventilator. So I'm done with this screen and I'll go next. And now here you can see it takes measurements. And instead of finding the right measurements that as per the procedure we need, we have them all here on the screen. And you can see the measurements are being taken automatically by the device, but it also interprets them against the expected range defined by the manufacturer. And then it gives you pass-fail criteria right on the screen. So there's nothing you have to calculate or nothing you have to interpret here. It's all done automatically and saved by the app itself. The moment I hit next in such a screen, all these values are logged into the internal memory for a later on report we are going to create. So the next step in this Bella Vista Quick Verification app is that I have to disconnect the tubing from the device, and then the ventilator should trigger an alarm. And that's the case, as you can hear maybe in the background. So I confirm that. And then when I reconnect my circuit system, the ventilator should detect that as well, and the alarm should disappear. That happened here. So I confirm that as well. On the next page, we have to test if the ventilator can run from battery. So I have to disconnect my mains power cord. And then again, I have to confirm that alarm is being triggered and that the machine runs from battery. And when I connect power back up, then it should recognize that as well. That happened too. So I confirm this here on the app, in the app as well. So this could now go on for a lot of more pages depending on the performance verification defined by the ventilator manufacturer. This is a very quick one here, so we are actually almost done. But again, this can have multiple pages. It depends on exactly the performance verification procedure that we are mirroring with our app. So here I'm actually done with the measurements and with the tests, but the app doesn't stop there. In most cases, manufacturers want you to document some additional things about the device under test. So here we can add more information. I'll not go through all of them, but whatever we need to enter here when we tap on it, it opens up the keyboard, and then we can, for example, type here the serial number of our ventilator for the documentation and later to be on the report. The very last step in all of the apps is always that we can add information about our company and ourselves as a tester, our operator. So we can add our name here, for example, and our company name. And we can also sign the report right on the screen here with our finger. Once I'm done with that, I can finalize the report. And as you can see, this is the report. I can view it on the screen. I can zoom in, zoom out, and you will see that it contains all the measurement results, all the actual measured values, and additional documentation we did. So you have objective proof that you have tested the ventilator against the manufacturer's specifications. Once I close this, the report is being stored in the internal memory of the device. And in the applications screen here, I have a section called reports. When I go in here, I have all the reports sorted and grouped by app. So if I open the Bella Vista Quick Verification, I can see this is actually the one I just did. I can again view it here, but even more important, I can now export it from my device. There are two different options. Option number one is you connect a USB drive, what I just did right now, and then under reports, it gives me the option to export my reports. The second option is to connect to the device through a Wi-Fi web server. So that's wirelessly, and then on the web server, I see my PDF files and I can download them to my computer. I want to re-emphasize once again that this is a growing library, and software updates in the future are going to add more apps, and that's going to be free. To update the software of the CITREX H5, you simply have to go to the About screen and push the button Software Update, and it gives you two options again here. We can go wirelessly if you have the device connected to wireless LAN. It just loads the update if one is available and installs it, or via USB pen drive. All the updates are downloadable from our website for free. You can put it on a USB pen drive and then update it through USB too. All right, that's it about the apps. I'm gonna hand it back to Kerwin.
Great, thanks. Stop ventilation, that's great. Let's see if we can do the different camera here. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Daniel, that was great. Okay, the next thing that we want to show you is that the H5 can be a full-blown anesthesia machine testing system with our our OR-703 multi-gas analyzer. But before we get started, please participate in another quick poll and let us know if any of you test anesthesia machines.
Great, so the poll is launching now, and the question is, do you work on anesthesia machines? And of course, the possible selections are yes or no. So we'll give a couple of minutes for those results to come in. And it looks like we have 66% said yes, they do work on those machines.
Very good. Thanks, John. I appreciate the results, and thank you for participating in the poll. It looks like quite a few of you could use our system here. So I'll show you that. Let's switch cameras real quick. And I'll just zoom out a little bit here so we can see things a little better. So our our multi-gas analyzer, OR-703 device comes to you, and I want to show you what you get with that. So you get the actual analyzer, and notice how small it is. You get the patient circuit adapter. And for use with our H5, it also comes with this other small adapter. The OR-703 actually works with our H5, our PF300 series, and our PF300 Pro. So if you buy one, you can use it with the H5 or any other device that you might have from IMT Analytics. So let's go ahead and hook it up and show you how easy it is. So I'll just disconnect my ventilator, put my analyzer in line, connect the adapter, and power the adapter. Go back to my home screen. Zoom in just a little bit now so you can see this again. There. Okay. So you'll notice that the adapter is turned on, powered up. And if I go to any of my measurement screens, again, I can just go to anywhere I like, and I can add a tile or I could change a tile. Pick one, put it in edit mode. And here I can select from 28 different ventilator parameters, but also down here at the bottom, you'll see that we can now also measure N2O, CO2, and 5 different anesthetic gases. I can pick any of these and put them on any tile. And if I was actually delivering those gases here, we would see the concentration of that gas with each breath. Because this is a main flow analyzer, which means no gas has to be taken out for side stream. It can actually measure breath by breath the concentration of the gas that's there. So you can actually have multiple gases, and depending upon what one's being delivered, you can see it on the screen. So all in all, very easy to set up, very small but very powerful test system for your ventilator and anesthesia requirements. Okay, next I'll change this up just a little bit. Okay, I'm back. So I just want to tell you about another thing that works with our H5 and the OR-703, if you like, and that's our FlowLab software. This part isn't resident on the H5. It's actually software for your PC. It will work with any Windows-based PC, and it's free to download from our website. You could download it today and put it on any PC you like. And when you do have one of our devices, the device is enabled to use that software. I can share my screen here and show you what that looks like. Hang on, first of all, let me hook up. All you have to do is hook your H5 to your computer using a USB cable. And launch the software.
While you're doing that, I had a question come in.
Sure.
And they wanted to know, are you going to add the Nihon Coden ventilators NKV 330 and NKV 550?
I'm so glad you asked. Thanks. That's a great question. Yes, as a matter of fact, at least the 330 is already on our list for adding that. We've been working with Nihon Coden for a long time.
Fantastic. Sorry for interrupting, but I wanted to ask that while it came in.
No problem at all. Thank you. So what you can see here now is I've got FlowLab up, start a little ventilation. Let me switch back quickly to my other camera just to show you the screen. And let's see, I'll probably have to stop sharing for that. Yep, there you go. So now the H5 shows you that I'm locked out of doing changes on the screen because I'm connected to my computer and I've launched the FlowLab software. So let's go back to showing the FlowLab software for you. And you'll see here that on the main screen, or the main under panels, we have, much like our analyzer, we've got both waveforms and numeric measurements being shown here. And of course, this is also completely configurable. You can compare double waveforms, you can look at single waveforms, you can set it up any way you like, and you can record those. You can also do just numerics if you like. So a lot like our H5, you can swipe to the next tab and just have numbers. Okay. Again, you can set those all up. You can set them with high and low limits. You can set points, and it will give you pass-fail criteria. In addition to that, you can do trending for up to 100 hours if you use our software on your PC, connected to the H5. So if you have a ventilator that's giving you problems that's intermittent and you want to run it over a day or several days, you can hook up the H5 and use FlowLab to trend that for, as I said, up to 100 hours. And each of these panels can be turned into a report. And those reports are completely configurable. And as you can see, it already knows that I'm attached to the CITREX or the H5. It shows its serial number, and it even shows its last calibration date. You can add your own logo here if you like. So you can completely configure the report the way you want and then print it out as a PDF. In addition to that, we have something called test sequence. And what we do there is we let you set up a test in the sequence that you want. Often you can set your own, or you can follow manufacturer's procedures and set up testing on the H5 that match those procedures. And then you can save that test and let other technicians use the test to do the same testing that you are. And with each one of those, again, you can create a report and save it as a PDF. So this is kind of just a quick overview of our FlowLab software, because it really is a very powerful tool and somewhat complex. As a matter of fact, we may do another webinar sometime that just deals with our FlowLab software. For now, I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay. And I'll hand this back over to Daniel.
All right. Thank you, Kerwin.
Sorry.
Yep. All right. Thanks. So next thing we would like to show you is an optional accessory that we have available with the H5, which is the stand. So let me just switch camera once again, zoom out a little bit, and clean up my desk here, because I want to show you we have a optionally available stand for the device. It looks like this. Very nice and good design. You can put it on your table, and then the really nice thing is there are two magnets here, and you can just attach your device, your CITREX H5, just like that. Once it is attached, you can set up your viewing angle here. Once you need to go on the road, you just take it away from the stand, just like that. So this is a really nice accessory for those of you who use the device not only on the road or not only in the field, but maybe also sometimes at your desk or your workbench. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about another important topic. So as you all know, gas flow analyzers as the CITREX H5 are used to test and calibrate life supporting equipment. So it's crucial that we calibrate these devices once a year as well. The CITREX H5 is going to remind you with a message on the screen when your device is due for calibration. Of course, you can then still continue to use it, but it's then highly recommended to send it in for calibration service. And as you may have heard already, we now have a calibration lab here in St. Petersburg, Florida. And we make it very easy for our customers to send in their device for calibration. We do that with our EasyCal system. I'm just gonna share my screen real quick video. So this is our, by the way, our brand new website. And if you go on our website, there is a section called calibration. You enter there, you will find a button named Start EasyCal Service. If you do that, then you'll get to this prompt here, where you can enter the serial number of your device and add the device for service. You can also add multiple devices in the same order. In the next step, you can then select what services you want us to perform on this device. There are a couple of options based on the device type. You can opt in or opt out for. If you have questions about these things or don't know what it means exactly, there are small info symbols here. If you roll over with your mouse there, then it gives you some additional information and explanation about what that exactly means. Once you selected your services, you can key in your pickup and return address. And if you have a different build to address, you can deselect this checkbox here and just add another build to address here as well. If you go to the next page, it's gonna give you two options for transportation. Either you can use our carrier or you can use your own carrier. If you select the option to use our carrier, we work with FedEx, so you can then select the pickup date and the service you want to use. We offer different services with FedEx, from very cost-effective ground service up to overnight. And it gives you pricing information right there. This is based on your pickup and return address in real time. Once you go to the last step, it's going to give you a summary of your order with all the selected services and transport costs. Very easy to see, get an overview of what it is about. And then once you place the order and you selected our carrier, it even triggers a FedEx pickup for you, and it creates the shipping labels for you as a PDF file. So you'll get a prompt just to print them out. So all you have to do is have your device packed and ready for pickup by FedEx. Very easy and convenient. And once the device arrives here at our facility in Florida, right now at the moment we have a turnaround time of just 2 to 3 working days. So it's going to be a very quick service turnaround time. By the way, I also want to mention that our lab here is now ISO 17025 accredited, ensuring that your devices are handled and calibrated at the highest quality standards. All right, let me stop sharing here and I'm going to wrap that up.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks everybody for joining. I just wanted to quickly summarize that, the H5 along with the OR-703 is a nice, small, convenient to travel with package and can serve a wide range of devices. So thanks again for joining us. Thanks for participating in our polls. And we're going to open it up now for you to ask any other questions you might like to ask.
Great. We do have some questions that came in. If we can't get to all of them, we will email them to you and let you answer them via email. One of the questions that came in was, how many profiles can you have on the analyzer?
Do you know how many?
Yeah, there is.
I think what's the limit?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we never hit the limit.
We never
yet.
hit the limit, so it's a lot of profiles. I think it's somewhen it's limited. I don't know it by heart. That's something we can answer by email. But it's not just 10 or so. We have seen devices with like more, for sure, more. I would say more than 20 for sure. But let us double check that and get back to you on that.
Another question was, can it be used with event ventilators 5i and 7i?
It should be able to, yes. Those are both adult ventilators, if I remember right. It's been a long time since I worked on one, but yeah, it should be no problem.
And then I think these two questions kind of go together. Someone asked, can it interface with AIMS? And then someone else asked if the analyzer can be integrated into an automated maintenance data management system, which I believe AIMS is a CMMS that some hospitals use.
Well, we do put out, this CSV file that they can import, or in the case of some of the reports, it would be a PDF that they can attach.
Okay. And then one person asked, can you use it to check ETCO2 modules?
Entitled CO2 modules?
ETCO2, so ECBO?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have, personally, I don't have any experience with that, but I would guess so. We could have a look at that together, what exactly the requirements, the testing requirements are. I guess you're gonna probably want to measure CO2 concentration too there, so you probably would need our OR-703 multi-gas analyzer for that. And other than that, it all depends what actually this test looks like. I don't know, Kerwin, do you know more about that?
I don't. You'd have to see what the actual flow rates are, but we have a very wide range of flow capability. And as Daniel said, with the OR-703, we can also do CO2 concentration, and we already do CO2 compensation
as a gas type.
As a gas type.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone asked, what are examples of apps you have for legacy products and newly released ones?
Okay. So
Yeah, legacy products.
a lot, actually.
The V60, I would
Yeah,
say.
currently, yeah, we have the Via, the Vela, the V60. Of course, the Bella Vista vents are
That's
newer.
not a legacy, but a newer
Not
one,
legacy
yeah.
anymore, but
Mhm.
I think those are all the legacy. And then, of course, we're working on new applications all the time.
So
Okay.
there are going to be new ones pretty soon now. And we just worked on a strategy, and this is something we're going to push moving forward, and we're going to add more down the road. Stay tuned. If you subscribe to our newsletter on our website, then you'll get informed whenever a new software version is available, and it's going to have release notes with it as well, where of course we're going to promote that we have new apps when we push out further software updates in the future.
Yeah, and keep in mind, those are free updates. Any device that you have, if we create an app for it, all you have to do is update the software, as Daniel showed it, either over Wi-Fi or USB, and you'll get the new apps.
And by the way, I want to mention one more thing. After the webinar, you're going to get a survey, and we were able to add some questions too. Some questions are going to be from TechNation, and some are going to be from us. And one question we are going to ask you is what you would like to see as one of the next apps. So we want to hear from you what you want to have as next app, and then maybe we, of course, we have a schedule already for some apps, but we are always interested what would be probably the next best one to add based on what the field's needs are.
Right. Someone helped me out. I don't have a medical background at all. I'm an editor and deal with words. But someone helped me out and said the EtCO2 is in tidal CO2.
Right.
Yeah.
Means at the end of your breath, how much CO2 have you breathed out?
Okay. And then someone asked, can the calibration notice be shut off? A lot of us have these in our asset management system reminding us of calibration dates and don't need the redundancy.
No, unfortunately not. We put that on there on purpose as a convenience factor, but also to ensure that people are aware that they've passed their calibration date. So it's not something you can turn on and off.
And it's just a warning, right? You can just confirm it, and it's not going to impact anything of your measurement. But we think that, I know some people have very good systems in place to be reminded already maybe, but maybe it's not always the user of the device. And I think it's just, we think it's our responsibility to tell users that are using the device it's actually due for calibration.
Understand? And then someone asked 50 milliliter flow rate accuracy.
Sorry, what was that?
What was that?
It says 50 ml flow rate accuracy question mark.
Yep.
50 ml flow.
Still within the plus minus 300.
So
it should be
50
1.9%.
ml is, so the flow rate specification is always a little bit complex when it gets to very small flow rates, because at some point you're going to hit the resolution actually. Let me just make sure that I'm not telling you anything wrong here. Just going to open the exact specs here. So it's the flow rate accuracy is 1.9% down to 0 plus minus 0.1 liter per minute. So that means 100 milliliters. So at 50 milliliters, it would be the 0.1 liter per minute accuracy.
And then someone asked why 703 has expiration.
Don't really understand that question.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're asking.
What do they mean by expiration?
This is the OR-703 sensor. Maybe it's about, I don't know what is this exactly. It is calibration free actually, so you don't need to calibrate that one. It's just we need to zero it when we start measuring, but I don't know what the question is exactly about. Maybe the person who asked
maybe they'll follow up with more information.
Exactly.
Another question is, what is the correct tolerance with regards to testing anesthetic gas?
Correct tolerance?
regards
Okay,
to?
tolerance of the concentration measurements. Okay, this is something. Do we have that in our handout?
Might be.
I think we have. Yeah, we have the MultiGasAnalyser flyer in the handout, and
Okay.
that one has all the specifications, all the accuracies of the different gas types and the anesthetic agents right in there with all the specifications of the accuracy of the measurement.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions today, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time today. That was a great presentation, and I'd like to encourage everyone to visit your new website, find out more about your devices, and they can follow up with email if they have more questions. As promised, the answer to today's trivia question is the color purple. And the AirPods winner is Alan Nicewarner, a CBET with BSW Health in Texas. Now, a quick reminder that you can obtain your CE certificate by completing the post-webinar survey. The survey will be emailed to you in about 1 hour. You have to complete the survey to receive your 1 CE credit from the ACI, and you will be able to download that certificate directly from your computer once the survey is submitted. If you have problems or questions, you can email us at webinar@mdpublishing.com. We'll be back next month with another Tools of the Trade live demo and another great prize as we continue to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Visit webinarwednesday.live for more details, a complete schedule of all upcoming webinars, and complimentary registration. And don't forget to nominate a colleague or yourself for a Tech Choice Award. Just visit onetechnation.com and click on the trophy. Have a great day, and thank you everyone for your time and your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.